Welcome to Education Plus. Many students are going abroad to study medicine from India. Today, we are going to talk about the reason and are also going to talk about a medical university in Armenia called Yerevan Haybusak Medical University. Today, we have with us Mr. Rajesh Sharma, Director of DIAMS, and Mr. Syed Hassan, Chairman of Credo Visas. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
First, my question to Hassan. So, already I told in intro, so why so many of Indian students are going abroad to study medicine? This is the first question each and everyone have. So,
we had more than 12 lakh students appear for NEET this year. There is a high demand of medical graduates in India. We are only producing about 55,000 students every year. Most of the students now have to go abroad to study, basically because they do not have the options to study in India. We have had students going to all parts of the world, but today we are trying to find ways and means whereby we can send students abroad to study who are paying less money and also getting very high quality education. In India, you spend about 1 crore of rupees to get admission and into private colleges, whereas we have programs as low as 25 lakhs and above for the whole program.
okay.
That is one of the most important things why Indian students are going abroad to study. The facilities that the international universities offer are extraordinary, and we need to make sure that the students who we send get the best quality education.
We are talking today about Armenia country, that is a university called Yerevan Haybusak Medical University.
Yeah.
So, could you tell our audience about the university?
This university is located in a very fine place. Like is the capital of the Armenia is Yerevan, and it's a very highly accessible point where the country is pretty cool. Most of the population is Christianity population. A very peace-loving country. Peace-loving country. Apart from this, the kind of social demography there in Armenia, or if I particularly talking about Yerevan, is just similar to India.
Okay.
The people are pretty simple. The population is less. The area is quite vast, and apart from this, the university has a huge campus. Every department is very nicely been built with the latest equipment and technology is being introduced as it comes into the market. So, the students, those who are going to Haybusak, will have an advantage to access the latest technology which is a part of the medical world nowadays. So, that is going to be a biggest advantage. These students, those who are going to Armenia, will have that thing which generally been missing in India even after paying a huge amount of money.
Okay, so Mr. Hassan, I have one doubt, like why did you choose Armenia?
Armenia basically because, as Mr. Sharma explained, there are a few factors. One, cost is very low.
Okay.
I don't like to call it a cheap university because cheap university reflects very badly.
Okay.
But because we are talking about a university with low cost, doesn't mean that the quality of education is not good. Actually, the quality of education is very high in Armenia, and also the infrastructure, the security for the girls, because we are more concerned. The boys can go and have fun anywhere,
Okay.
but the parents are very scared about girls.
Yes.
And it is probably one of the most safest countries in the world to send our daughters to study in Armenia.
No, okay. So, where is this exactly located? Armenia means.
But Armenia basically used to be part of Soviet Union, and once it started breaking up, it became now part of CIS, that is Commonwealth of Independent States. It is surrounded by, on one side it is you have Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and the rest of the other Schengen countries also. The major advantage of sending students to Armenia today is that in the next few years it would definitely become part of the European Union and the Schengen nation.
Okay. So, Mr. Rajesh, what is the relationship between DIAMS and the university? What is the relation?
Let me brief you about DIAMS. We are the education institute which I started in 2003 for all those foreign medical graduates who need to appear for a license exam, which we call it as MCS screening test, before getting a registration in India. So after clearing this exam, then only they will be allowed to practice in India. So while teaching these students from last 14 or 15 years, I realize that many of those countries are not been students studying there, been sent by so many different people, are never been honestly been informed about what kind of examination system is going to be followed after that. When they graduate from there, when they come back to India, they find it really difficult to pass this exam. Though we have expertise in giving this kind of orientation program for the foreign medical graduates, so we decided and we approached to the university that if we incorporate a program where when the student get into admission in MBBS in the very first year of their curriculum, we will be started providing them a orientation as per the Indian standards right from the year 1,
Okay.
which none of the university or all over the world will be giving this kind of facility.
Only this is the one, I think.
Yeah,
which
this is the
giving-
one which is going to be provided there. So as the student get enrolled in Yerevan, my institution, my faculty will be traveling and will be staying there for a week or 10 days, will be guiding for a different subjects, because I have a faculty of international repute. They are the doctors who are postgraduate in their respective field from different medical college like Maulana Azad Medical College, Lady Harding, UCMS, PGI Chandigarh, and they are the highly talented doctors are there who are guiding these students from past 13 to 14 years. So by doing this objective, my association with the university came into existence, because the university also realized that not only getting a student for the admission will solely solve the purpose, but if they don't get pass after coming back to India, which is generally happening nowadays,
Yes.
so the reputation goes off. So that's my job and responsibility to guide them in a proper way, so that when they come back to India, they should be able to understand the Indian pattern of education. They should be properly guided there, what kind
Yes.
of books they need to follow, and how much effort they need to put if we want to become a good doctors in India. So this is how the existence of DIMS and Yerevan University came into existence.
No, okay. So, Mr. Rasan, being chairman for Credo Visas, please tell about Credo Visas.
We have been in student services since 2000, so about 17 years
It's
now.
about 30, yes.
And we have guided thousands of students to different parts of the world. On one side, we send students to English-speaking nations like United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Ireland. These are the all English-speaking countries, where we send students for engineering programs, management programs, and healthcare programs.
Okay.
The second aspect that we do is we do European programs to different countries like Italy, Poland, Denmark, France, Germany. And then we do medical education.
Okay.
We send students to about 12 different countries. And we also work with giants like Apollo Hospital, where we recruit nurses for them for education in UK. So we do a combination of things, and apart from that, we have offices all across Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. We have offices in 2 offices in Hyderabad, Vijayawada, Guntur, Visakhapatnam, Nellore, Tirupati, and so on. And in Kerala, we have 4 offices.
Okay.
And then we have offices in Madurai and Tamil Nadu. And now we have heading towards north. We have just established office in Bhopal and Manipur.
Okay.
So we are spreading all over India.
Okay. Like, give me one reason that why should students should opt for Credo Visas, because we have many other services consultancies.
The word credo comes from credibility.
Okay.
And over the last 17 years, we do not advertise much. Only now for the medical programs, because of all the craziness going on in the market, we do all these promotional activities. Most of our English-speaking nation students come from references.
Okay.
Number 1. Number 2, we handhold and we walk them through the whole process. Number 3, we are very transparent with how we work with the students. We will just not accept a file and say that, okay, let's see if we can send you. We will be upfront and tell them you do not have the proper marks or the credentials to go to the university that you are looking for or to the country. Many agencies, I don't want to point any fingers, but unfortunately some of the agencies, for example, they take files. We know that, you know, the IELTS, that's the International English Language Testing System, requirements are 6.5. They'll take the file and say, we'll try and see if we can get you admission.
Okay.
We know we cannot get them admission, so we don't even accept the file, and we tell them you have options. And because we work with over 90 plus academic institutions all over the world, we are able to offer lots of options to the students.
Okay.
Many options, so that they have your diploma programs, you have your certificate programs, you have your master's programs, degree programs, a whole bunch of things.
Regarding this university, we have an AV. Let's take it. Mr. Rajesh, about the Yerevan Medical University, so on what basis you are taking students to join in this university?
The basic criteria for every student, those who want to become a doctor, we first interview them and we just want to know that actually they really want to become doctors or not. That is the most important thing.
Okay.
Sometimes what happens, many of the students are being forced to become doctor because it's a parent's ambition.
Okay.
And it's a very common trend who happens ki mother and father want their kid to be a doctor,
Yes.
but where the interest of the kid may not be that interested. So sooner or later, this is a profession where a high dedication and commitment is needed.
Okay.
One thing is very clear: if you want to become a doctor, you need to really work hard. You have to put your at least 7 to 8 hours in a day for your self studies. Then you have to follow all the 19 subjects of medical education which is there in the curriculum of MTI Council, and then you need to put a real, sincere, honest effort into it when you want to become a doctor, because a doctor will always be judged by his or her knowledge with every coming patient. So first we see that if the student is willing, criteria is first thing is that.
Yeah.
Then we see what kind of marks they obtained.
Like how much pass percentage you are going to see?
Basically, we feel that a student should be able to score, though marks are is never a criteria in my opinion to be a genius or not genius.
Okay.
Marks are symbolic, but we basically feel that a student should have at least scored 60% marks in their in their 12th standard.
Okay.
So that we can expect that a student should be able to understand. Second thing, another important thing is that his communication skills, whether he is able to understand English or not, because all your medical education is based on English medium. What happens, there are people in some part of India where the English medium is being considered as a last option, and where there have been students when they got into class 6 or 7, then only their English is started. So the thing is that that is also another criteria which actually we face in the later part, because why I am telling you all this thing, because in last 14 years of teaching those foreign medical graduates and Indian graduates, where we have a branch all over India, around 24 cities, we realize that that is a criteria which we able to absorb from the student mindset ki these are the basic criteria is needed there. So considering all these factors, we select the student. If somebody is willing, even that after they are willing, it's our responsibility, a job to tell the parents, okay fine, you want your kid to be a doctor, but you should consider twice. It's not like you are giving me a student, I am forced to put him into any university, doesn't make sense. It is actually should be guided in a proper way. If a student is willing, it should be done. His marks are good, it is good. His curricula, his communication skills are good. These are the three main criteria which decide us whether to put student in that university or not.
Okay, if a student want to join in this university, he should undergo any test like?
Basically, the test is basic. If we consider test is also a whitewash. We can say that because when you are entering into MBBS, a student is still naive. He is very fresh. So we generally don't prefer the test, and the criteria, first criteria we put according to the marks. Those who have got a better score in their 12th standard, we select them as a priority basis.
Okay.
So that is the criteria of selecting the student.
Okay, so Mr. Hassan, is this university is government or private university?
This is a private university.
Okay.
However, the faculties and the infrastructure are extraordinary because you have American and European trained faculty, and the infrastructure is also set up by international standards. So although it's a private university, it has all the attributes of a public or a government university, and even better than that.
Okay, so what is the cost of studying in Yerevan Medical University?
It's the tuition fees itself is very low. It is $2,700 per year, which translates to about 1.75 to maximum 1.8 lakhs, depending on the conversion rate.
Okay.
The cost of living, your accommodation and food and all those things, is about $250 at the max. You can live like a king and you can spend about $1,000, but then an average Indian student are quite frugal and they do not want to spend too much money. So the cost would be about $250 per month, which again translates to about 11.5 lakhs for the whole 6 years, and the tuition translates to about 10.5 lakhs.
Okay.
So overall, with all the services and your transportation and your flight tickets, everything, it will cost about 25-26 lakhs, around that cost. We will not be charging anything for other services like visa fees. Documents have to be translated into the Armenian language, which we will take care of. The documents also have to be approved by the Ministry of Education and Medical Health Services from Armenia, which also we will take care of without any cost. Once the students go land there, they will be welcome and taken to their hostels.
Okay.
And I'm also told that Mr. Sharma is going to offer them a welcome dinner or lunch when they get there. So, which is fantastic, and especially for that lunch or dinner that is going to offer, I'm going to make sure that I also land up with the students there.
Okay.
Okay, so we Indians are food lovers definitely. So
Yes.
what about the food over there?
You have
Do we
lots of
get
food
the
there.
Indian
You
food
get
over?
European food, you get Russian food. What food are we talking about? Oh,
Okay, Indian food.
Indian food,
Yes.
yes. We have lots of Indian restaurants there. Right now, there are over 800 students, Indian students.
Okay.
So there are a lot of Indian restaurants and lots of Indian food is available.
Mm.
However, at the end of the day, I always recommend my students that start chopping up onions. If you do not learn to cook food, you will be spending more money. That is very,
Okay.
very important. Without learning to cook food, you will spend more. See, you can order pizza and you can order a Coke or a beer and enjoy it, and by the end of the day, you realize that all the money that you have for your food is gone in a week or less than a week. But if you are able to cook your food, and of course, when they are going from here, India, we try and guide them to take all kinds of whether it is sambar masala or what is needed for a dal tadka or whatever is needed, we will guide them to take it along so that they can take them along from here so that they can cook. Indians are so dependent on pressure cookers, so we tell them, okay, take a pressure cooker. So at the end of the day, we tell them everything, what to take, what not to take. We have counselors in our organization, lady counselors who have actually lived and studied and lived abroad. So these people will be talking to all the different girls who would be going, so what all the needs are there for them, to what they need to take along with them, and so on and so forth. So we have a very well-rounded pre-departure sessions for all our students, so that when they go there, they should not feel that, okay, I should have brought this along.
Okay.
We also tell them where to buy what,
Okay.
because in a place where it is cold, we tell them you buy the thermals, you can buy. We do a very well-rounded job for that.
No, okay.
Because everything you cannot go out as per the Indian parameters, but we try to make them accustomed to the what is basic requirement is there for a student, because student life is always like that. It always goes. We also being a student always struggle that period of point of time, so we know that that is always going to be there for them. Different country, they need to learn the language fast, and that is absolutely wonderful. Like if they learn another language, that always added their quality education.
Okay, tell about the infrastructure.
Yeah, infrastructure, if we talk about the kind of infrastructure is really, if I compare any of the medical college in India, unfortunately none of them stand there in front of that university. The issue is that India is a huge, highly populated country with a limited space, but there the population is very limited. A population of maximum 20 lakhs is a population of that country. Out of them, 10 lakh people are working out of Armenia. So there's a huge land is available there. So the campuses are hugely built up. They have a different department building structure being made. Surgery department is separate, pediatrics department is separate, and medicine department is separate, and the academic building is going to be separate. So it's not like that in India you make it in 5 acres, the complete building is being created, hospital being created, but they have a huge infrastructure support basis there. The buildings are quite big, quite spacious. It's a cold country, so that definitely there's a centralized heating system is there inside the building. So this has all been built as per the European standard.
Okay.
And regarding all other structure, if you talk about, teachers are really cooperative there. Even you find there are some of the teachers are there. One of the reasons that there, Indian teachers are also there.
Okay.
So students feel comfortable in communicating with them also.
Okay.
Along with the faculty from Armenia, there are around 8 to 9 faculties are there who are Indian origin or Bangladeshi origin. So that us Indian subcontinent people are there, then students feel more comfortable talking to them. So this is the advantage there.
Okay, so Mr. Hasan, even Credo Visas is doing other countries also. So coming to quality of education, like what kind of a quality we find here in this university?
Armenia offers fantastic education. See, most of the European education, the different students go to different countries for different reasons. Starting from cost to the delivery of the education system, what they can do after they complete the education system, and where they want to be.
Yeah.
So we are talking about starting from 25-26 lakhs to Armenia, all the way up to 1.2 crores in Poland. There we have a complete American education system, 100% American education. If they go to US to do the same program, they'll probably spend about 2.5 crores.
Okay.
But then if they go to Poland, they would spend about 1 crore or 1.2 crores if they wish to study part in Poland and part in USA.
Then why is the question rising that MCS screening passing is very difficult?
Ms. Lakshmi, it's not exactly difficult. It is all depends upon what kind of guidance students are getting. The biggest hurdle here comes is guidance and misguidance.
Okay.
So for getting a bad passing percentage, there's a lot of misguidance has been created by so many people who are into this industry. So what they feel that getting somebody admitted to any university, the task is over, then nobody is there to guide them, and student is beating around the bushes. He doesn't have no clues and no ideas what to do then, how to study, what is the pattern of study, because every country has their own system of teaching and India has a different way of teaching.
Yeah.
So if you want to come back to India, you need to learn the parameters of the Indian standards, which all things are important. Medical education remains same throughout the world. Like human body will remain same, nothing will be like only the changes will come according to the geographical conditions.
Okay.
Some of the disease can vary. Few of them will vary, but most commonly most of the things will remain same. But the students, when they are getting graduated, then they realize what now to be done and how to study. And till those 4 years, nobody is there to guide them. If somebody is guiding them, then I feel that rather than guiding, a lot of misguidance is happening there, and that is contributing that the pretty bad passing percentage coming up.
Okay.
So from past 3 years, even DMS, I personally started visiting many of the university after a lot of demand was there. I do have a limitation. I cannot conduct such kind of program to all the universities. We do have a limitation because we have to maintain our quality and standards, and faculties are not that freely available because, as I told you, I have a 24 city centers in all over India. So we are limited to certain of the program, but we have started some of the programs now from this year onwards, where online programs are there and special counseling sessions we are conducting, going to different university, making them aware, at least before coming back to India, you should do this thing.
Okay.
Once they started following, the things will start becoming better, and I feel that things are getting now better and better. The quality of students what we are getting after putting 2-3 years of efforts into this, students to all over the places, we feel that the quality of students coming now better. Quality is coming.
So students who are strongly willing to become doctors, so they have to.
Until you don't have willingness, you cannot be.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajesh Sharma. Thank you so much, Mr. Hassan, for joining with us. This is today's Education Plus. Keep watching 10 TV, your source people.